I joined the Toastmasters International in August 2019. Exactly 2 years today, I am standing here and giving my last speech for my pathway, leadership development. Obviously, with the length of time I have taken, it is nothing spectacular. The idea of my speech today is really not to persuade you to admire my accomplishments, but it is to invite you to get a glimpse into my journey so that you can work out your own on how you want to complete your pathway. Good afternoon to each and everyone. I am most excited to have this opportunity to share with you my remarkable journey and that marked the completion of my journey. Reflecting before closing our pathway is an important act because it allows us to take inventories of the things that we have done well and also the things that we could have done better. So that when we embark on the next project, we are equipped and more able to maneuver. Just like our pathway, I am going to share my reflection in 5 levels. Level 1 begins with the letter F, foundation. At the beginning of my project, I was pretty much getting my toes wet. And the feeling was like dipping my toes into an ocean of knowledge. I wasn't sure how to begin, but fortunately, there were resources in the Toastmasters International Base Camp that I could use to lay my foundation. This stage is very critical in my opinion, because not only I took the first nerve-wracking step to speak, but I also got introduced to receiving feedbacks and giving feedbacks to another speaker. Before I thought giving feedbacks to people or another presenter is a rude thing to do. I remember a couple of years ago when I was invited to visit our headquarters in Santa Clara. My colleague from Ireland was giving a presentation about the situation in Ireland. At that time, I didn't think about how the presenter did. All I wanted was to grasp as much information as possible because I was new. After the presentation, I went to the pantry and a colleague of mine from Singapore came and then she asked me, "What do you think about the presentation earlier?" I said it was all right. I learned a lot of things. Then she said this, "I think it was a bit dry." My eyes wide open. I looked around and looked underneath the table. And I said, "Shh, that is so rude. You shouldn't be saying that." Now, you and I know that wasn't a very constructive feedback. And so when I started learning, receiving constructive feedback, and also giving away a constructive feedback to another speaker, the whole process was a new level of novelty that made me want to find out more. The next level begins with the letter A, adjustment. At this point, self-discovery happened. At this stage also, frustration happened. I had to unlearn the old ways, right? You heard me. Unlearn, not learn. I had to unlearn the old ways and started to use the right method of communications. Because in the past, I tend to use a lot of fillers like, "well, you know," or "so." Adjusting was hard. But then I slowly have to slow down my speech in order to let my mind catch up. But before I could get past adjustments, I had to bring in the next level into my speech deliveries. And that was the letter I, iteration. In between adjusting myself, I keep coming back to give my speech over and over again in the hope that I will not fall back to the old habits. And that led to the next level, begins with the letter T, transformation. I did not expect that this day would come, that I could witness my own transformation. It opened my eyes to see that I'm more confident and more comfortable in my own skin, as well as able to put stage anxiety behind the audience instead of right in front of my face. Now, perhaps you must be thinking, did you really improve that much? Maybe I should call someone in the audience, someone that know me, and that is none other than our immediate past president, Ramesh Raju, who was at that time when I joined the VP Education. Ramesh, can you unmute yourself and tell everyone if I have improved?
Yes, you have definitely improved.
Thank you, Ramesh. You heard that, right? But then, having said all that, I also must admit that I could have done better if I paid more attention to preparations. And perhaps having a mentor could have saved me a couple of mistakes. One example was the speech durations. Like the icebreaker speech, I have to hit the 4th minute mark in order to qualify. And then I have, when I hit the 6 minute mark, I have another 30 seconds before I end my speech. I didn't know that until I have delivered my icebreaker. And I remember I did not even meet the 4th minute mark to qualify. The next is the importance of having a peer or a mentor that I could check with before I tried something new. I remember I was trying to be creative when I was delivering my leadership style speech. But I wasn't skillful enough to connect my speech to the different styles of leadership. And that day I failed to deliver the speech to the audience effectively. And I was corrected by the evaluator that day. Nonetheless, I still have to say that Toastmasters is highly recommended, the final alphabet. Toastmasters program is highly recommended to anyone that want to improve communications and self-confidence. But then, just like what Tony Robbins said, the only impossible journey is the one you never begin. But I'd like to add on to that. The impossible journey is the one you never begin and also the one you never complete. When my mom passed away, she did not leave behind cash, properties, not even a piece of jewelry. But she left behind something that far more valuable, something that I could bring with me till the end of my life, and also something I could pass on to my children. She was Cantonese and we spoke Cantonese at home a lot. She said, 做咩都好, no matter what you do, 最緊要, most importantly, 有頭有尾, have head and tail, which means no matter what you do, you have to have the beginning and you must complete it. But notice, she did not say how much time you should complete something. And so today I am most happy that I'm able to fulfill this because it took me 2 years, like running the marathon, to complete this journey, but I did it. Now, if you put all the 5 letters together, you will get the 5 letters word to succeed in Toastmasters pathway. And that is FAITH, faith. Toastmasters can give you the best program on earth could buy that. But then at the end of the day, you and I must have faith to commit to ourselves that we can complete this journey. So that when we wish for whatever that we want to improve when we sign up for the project or the program, our wish will come true and not return void. Thank you very much. I return to you, Toastmasters of the Day.